Welcome to the channel. Today I have a video from Modern Dating here. Let's watch the video.
Everything has always been put into his parents' name.
Ma'am, that does not qualify, nor does it. Move on, please.
I was just alive here.
Move on.
She wanted to take part of his inheritance, but was shocked after realizing that everything was under his parents' name. I guess he was quicker.
You inherited $400,000?
No, I didn't.
Who inherited the rest of that, then?
I don't know what you're referring to. The rest of what?
When you received that IRA, you did not tell me that it was $400,000 to be split amongst you, your brother, your parents, and your mom's brother.
I did not tell you that. And I also can't speak to what other people have inherited. I can only speak to what
I'm asking you if that is what you said to me.
I already just answered it. No, I didn't tell you that.
So you were lying to me then, or are you lying to me now?
I didn't tell you that, and I also don't know the relevance.
The relevance is you hiding things.
I don't hide anything.
Because if you were to get one, wouldn't your parents and everybody else get one?
Relevance?
Yeah, objection, Your Honor.
Relevance is you hiding finances.
Okay.
Once again.
Ma'am, yeah, you haven't produced any documents to show that anything has been hidden, and I've given you some leeway to get into that, and you simply come back to the same thing, that he's hiding stuff, but you don't have any documentation that he's hiding anything. So unless you can produce anything, you need to go into a different line of questioning.
Imagine asking someone's heritage. How vile do you have to be to do that? Yeah.
Well said. You can't be making statements you can't back up. She was given the opportunity to bring evidence, but she didn't. Now she is trying hard to get him to say something she can lean on and use against him, but he is smarter than that. He is well prepared for everything.
Your Honor, I was waiting until my statement to let it all out. I have never been allowed to know any finances. Everything has always been put into his parents' name.
Ma'am, that does not qualify, nor does it, in fact, refute anything that the court has said that you need to produce. So if you have documentation, then you have a right, you had a right to produce that, and you didn't do that. So,
Your Honor, I do not have any paperwork about anything. Anything that I have learned is just recently.
Okay.
I was financially abused, mentally, emotionally, physically.
Move on, please.
I was just alive here.
Move on. Again, you had a right to produce that. You didn't produce it. You could have engaged in, under the case scheduling order, you had a right to engage in discovery. You did not do that, and you did not produce any documentation as required by the case scheduling order. So I've given you leeway to ask him the questions, but
Your Honor,
no, go ahead and ask questions, ma'am. I'm not going to just continue to engage in the same dispute with you. So go on.
Okay.
It's so refreshing to see a judge not hand over money to a thief.
All right. So you want every other week with your children?
Yes.
Finally, they arrived somewhere. At this point, she realized there wasn't much to be done, as she couldn't make a case just with words. The judge was really clear. Unless you have evidence that supports your claims, they won't be taken into account. And this is something she just learned. She had her eyes on his inheritance, but she just found out that in reality, he owns nothing, and now she would have to forget that money. His inheritance is not hers. Just watch the YouTube so you don't have to. No alimony, no 401k. She gets to keep the car and child support. He's smart with his answers. Inheritance is that person's own property, not community property in a divorce. Inheritances are not income a spouse can ask for in the divorce. He knew what he was doing. Great job, sir. She is so confident in her interrogation skills. Inheritance is none of her business. She is not entitled to any of it. She had her eyes on his inheritance, but he was smarter and did what he could do to keep it out of her reach, and apparently it worked. The judge gave her the opportunity to produce any documentation to support her claims, but she was unable to do so. However, she still wanted her statements to be considered, and this is not how things work. Even the lawyer was getting annoyed with her line of questions and its irrelevancy, and most would have the same reaction as she was going in circles, making everyone waste their time. And I was surprised that the judge allowed it to happen. At this point, she probably has the house, child support, and other assets, but she still wants to put her hands on his inheritance. However, he was smarter than her. He already knew her intentions, so he decided to prepare himself, which served him well. Now she will have to be content with what she already got from their divorce, as he didn't inherit anything. His parents did. This is what greediness does to people. They are never satisfied with what they have. It's all about getting more. But it didn't work this time. Now, if she wants more money, she can either get a job if she doesn't have one or ask her employer for extra hours. But in the end, the case had a good outcome. The best part was when she realized there wasn't much she could have done at that point, and the only question that was left was related to the frequency he wanted to see his kids. She knew he was well prepared and that money was well secured, so giving up was the only thing left to be done.
But my question is, why do we really need one?
I've had a pretty large company even before I met you. So if we get married and then you decide to divorce me next year, then you leave with half of it, that's not fair.
But why are you already thinking about that?
Babe, it's something that I have to think about. I don't know why Danny's so surprised. The prenup's obviously something that we need to have in place. I built a business long before she even came into the picture, and I have to protect that. Like, you want to get married? I'm trying to work with you.
Yes, a lot of women already plan for divorce way before the wedding. They aren't marrying for money, they divorce for it. Yes.
I don't want to be emotional. I'm just not sure if you're doing this because you don't trust me or you're not sure about our future.
Well, I think you're overthinking it.
I will bet she cheated and left the marriage, then she thinks she's entitled.
I don't know how to explain this to you. I feel like you're not understanding what I'm saying.
I am understanding. It's not my intentions to leave you.
Bro, just cut her off, bro. That's an automatically red flag.
If you are marrying for love, you would have no reason to hesitate to sign the prenup. She has a plan. No prenup, no marriage. Most divorces are planned before the wedding. A prenup is mandatory. She went straight to crying. I would have rolled my eyes and walked out. She trying to make sure her exit plan is always available. Somebody send this to Travis Hunter. People change over time. Protect yourself at all costs. This is how you know people's real intentions. She wouldn't have minded if she was marrying for love, and this is how she unveiled her real plans. If she insists that she doesn't want to sign it, no marriage should happen. Why would you marry someone who is directly telling you that she is on it for money? This is when prenup becomes mandatory, and that would make her understand that she has two options. She either signs and we get married, or refuses to sign and it's over. This is a perfect example of someone who is getting married and is already preparing her exit plan. She has her eyes on half of what he got, but she will have to come up with another strategy as this won't work on him. This is a smart woman who want to play the long-term game, but he is smarter than that. He won't let her fool him with those crocodile tears.
So if we get married and then you decide to divorce me next year, then you leave with half of it, that's not fair.
But why are you already thinking about that?
Babe, it's something that I have to think about.
I'm not sure about you guys, but based on my understanding, her responses indicate that she is the one who is already thinking about it, because her objection indicates that his view of this matter goes against her plans. Otherwise, she would have agreed with it. She just wanted half of what she didn't work for, but he won't let it happen. He worked too hard just to split it with someone who did nothing for that empire. The only reason she was crying was that she just realized that he was not as naive as she expected, and now she knows that securing the bag will be impossible. But deep down, she knows that he is correct, and she would have done the same thing if she was in his position. In fact, she wouldn't even look at a guy who wasn't in the same tax bracket. He wouldn't have a chance.
Divorce breaks a lot of people in the process. So make sure you do the wise thing. If you know you're not sure about your partner, change the asset to another person's name and make sure you get your prenup. If the person that you want to be with doesn't want to get a prenup, it's a very red flag. So just run, don't walk, run away. Like the video, subscribe, leave your thoughts down in the comment section, and I will see you in the next video.